Hey guys, first things first, I have had a major shift in my job schedule, so I'm a bit tired with this video, but I need to get it out. On top of that, I have my bottle of Trader Joe's on sake here, so this video might be slightly slurred, but I think you'll get the point of what I'm trying to say. According to a TED Talks recently, although the internet is bringing people of similar interests together, thanks to web searches and social networking of people like us, we tend to get trapped in a bubble and assume that the internet is one way, while there are a myriad of other bubbles oblivious to your existence. Well, the atheist YouTube community is a bit of a bubble, and when I posted my last video, I got an explosion of lists of ex-Muslim atheists here on YouTube. It's like DC versus Marvel with two universes that existed, but were unaware of each other. This is because when ex-Christian atheists look for or make videos, our tags and searches involve completely different words than those of ex-Muslims, so we weren't shunning or ignoring each other, we just never bumped into each other unless we were going out of our way to find the subject. I have a friend at CFI who wanted to do a discussion video on Islam who is an ex-Muslim, on a theological concept that doesn't exist in Christianity, and I know nothing about. I really could have given very little input on the discussion because I didn't know anything about it, and would never think to look for it on YouTube because I didn't even know it existed beforehand. I think it's time we had a crossover, even an integration. Guys, I have a long list below of ex-Muslim atheist YouTubers, as well as a few other links recommended. Find a YouTuber you like and give them a shout out. If you have an anti-Islam video idea, run it past them so you don't sound like an ignorant moron, and maybe they know of a way to better culturally phrase what you're saying so that it packs a bigger punch. Help them with ideas and technical concepts, especially if you can help them out with showmanship and make them look flashier. There's an entire branch of YouTube atheist community that's been kind of isolated just by search engines. Time for us to no longer use the kid gloves on Islam by raising these people up and learning from these brave infidels. And now on to my next section, why I don't comment on issues I don't know about. People have told me that I need to study up on UKIP, or why can't I criticize Islam? They gave me several basic generalized statements about Islam and they said criticize away. I don't do this any more than I comment on geology or astrophysics beyond what I saw on Discovery Channel. The problem is that there are many nuances and subtleties about other cultures that I do not understand. The entire dynamic and system of another nation and culture is different. Their sense of humor is different. Their government's different. Their power structure is different. Phraseology, taboos, and customs are all different. I know about American politics. I understand its nuances. I understand the different parties, the different scandals, the smear campaigns, the Tea Party, and so on. I know the Constitution and how the courts interpret it. I also know that my political beliefs have changed from a Ron Pauler to a Social Democrat thanks to new information and new perspective. And this is my country, one I was born in. I have a ridiculously vague understanding of the British system. I don't understand the fiber and probably would have to live there and immerse myself for at least a year or two before I would have the level of knowledge needed to actively analyze and break down the understandings about the problems in British government. I can be appalled and speak out against things like anti-blasphemy laws or stoning in Islam without fear of ruining my message, but to actually explain why their religion is bullshit in their terms, I can't do that. I have no good comprehensive way of explaining it in language they may understand, and I risk appearing ignorant to them because I don't know the nuances of what I'm talking about. It's like if I went over to France and tried to speak French. With enough of a refresher course, I could be understood for the most part in the francophonic world, but they could obviously tell that I'm an amateur. What I had to say about French culture or grammar would either come off as insulting, idiotic, or hilarious with my level of knowledge. Believe me, back in high school, when I would make comments about chemistry like I knew what I was talking about, my teacher would give amused looks like, oh, it's so cute, he's trying, but he really has no idea what he's talking about, and can't see chemistry holistically at all. The same is true with Islam. I don't know what is needlessly offensive to them. I don't know what buttons I need to press to get them to think. I don't know how to put it into words in a way that their brains can more effectively process it, and I don't know the cultural stumbling blocks that are standing in their way. It's like if I were to try and teach someone calculus or physics. There are things I stumbled through and never fully grasped. I am not going to try and teach someone something I don't understand, especially if it would take months or years to get to know it. That's why I hope ex-Muslims who know the right buttons and language to use will step up and make their voices heard here on YouTube. I had a few people discuss Ibn Warq and other non-YouTube ex-Muslims, but the great thing about YouTube is we can actually talk to people one-on-one. Dawkins and Hitchens are experts and celebrities of atheism, which makes them easier to consider Satan because Christians will never meet these people. It's the fact that they see us as real flesh and blood humans that helps tear down the us versus them barrier. Sadly, Pat Condell does not get that he shouldn't try to get involved with American politics without understanding our nuances. My video I made on his seemed to be split between Americans who agreed with me and Europeans who I angered. What my European subscribers fail to grasp is I am fully aware of what is going on in Europe. Many horrible things are being done in the name of Islam and Sharia law, much of which I know from watching Pat Condell. However, many Europeans don't know the hot-button names that we have been battling over on this side of the pond, like the birthers and the truthers. Cheryl Sherrod and the death of Acorn were caused by clever video editing. These are hate and smear sources that have hurt the liberal side through direct and provable lies. You don't take your sources from liars and you don't fight lies with more lies. I had one of my subscribers ask if I was defending Islam in a very open statement. I'm defending truth and accuracy. Asking that question is vilification and a closed-minded view of the problem. False dichotomies are a way to narrow down the argument to only having ultimatums when there are usually many options that work if only the problem were discussed and the ideas were compiled. That's how brainstorming works. Constant raising of awareness is what we all have to do. Nothing in a democracy changes overnight. It does so over years and even decades, but if enough awareness is continuously raised, calmly, and people's minds are forced to be open, then change will happen. Democracy is the worst form of government, except all the others that have been tried. Churchill. Or Leonard Nimoy, if you're a Civ 4 fan. Yes.